Hey, everybody, welcome to this episode of Think Business Live. Looking forward to talking to David Kraus, David, welcome to the show. I appreciate you taking time. I've been looking forward to talking with you. David is the Director of Operations for Adachi's sushi restaurant and Zhaojun. And I feel like so many people have been talking about, wanting sushi, and everybody's. And so I've been wanting to talk to restaurant people who are in the restaurant business, just because you guys have been hit hard. You've had to be innovative in how you've been thinking about how to evolve your business. I know you're opening up Adachi on Wednesday, so I thought it'd be a good time for us to connect and start educating people a little bit on, just eating out and eating sushi out. So welcome.
Thank you.
Yeah, give us a little update on what's going on in your world, in the restaurant world.
Yeah, so this has obviously been quite a kick in the teeth for the hospitality industry. As somebody who's been in this industry for over 30 years, it pains me to see so many fellow industry people just hurting and out of work. And I'm excited to get back. What's really exciting to me is, I don't care what industry you're in. When something happens, in my opinion, there's two kinds of people in the world. There are the people that just are reactive and, want to cry about it and stay on that side of the wall. And then there's people that are like, okay, well, there's something new we got to do. We got to figure out something new.
Right.
And what is really, really exciting for me, I mean, I get like a little too geeked up about this, but what's exciting for me is how many people in our industry have pivoted and really changed a lot of what the model looks like because they have to.
Yeah.
And that is the greatness of human ingenuity. And I'm seeing it all around me, and it's exciting. And I'm excited to get back, and I'm excited to participate in it.
How have you guys been pivoting, David? Because I agree with you. It's hard to believe that that curbside hasn't been a standard always. It's a
right?
luxury. It's great. And so how have you guys been pivoting? Because I think there's going to be a lot more pivoting going on.
Yeah. So I'll tell you one key point, and you've probably already seen a lot of people out there doing it. You've probably purchased from different restaurants and carryouts that are doing this. Is the model has always been, you make a reservation at a restaurant.
Right.
You get plotted for an hour and a half to 2 hours, depending on the size of your party and the style of restaurant, and then we hold the table for you. The problem with carryout, when you are that kind of restaurant, an independent chef-driven restaurant, or you are a dine-in model primarily, is that you are not prepared to handle all of that action coming in a carryout manner.
Right.
Part one is there are some of the smaller technology companies, and technology is a huge growth industry in the hospitality industry over the last 5 or 8 years, where the model looked the same way for 1,000 years. I come to you, I say, what would you like, Jonathan? And you tell me what you're going to have. I write it down. I provide that to the kitchen. They provide the product. I serve it to you. That's the model. The model has updated in so many ways. So now we treat carryout almost as if you were a dine-in customer, meaning that we can only take so much at one time, just like anybody else. And especially in our case, you have a situation where we don't want to, where maybe our hotline, our hot kitchen has 3 chefs on it. Now we're looking at 2 because we don't want to put them on top of each other.
Right.
So we really have to plot out and take incoming orders in a way that for what we do. And that's what some technology companies have done. Companies like Talk, Apron, 7 Rooms, and we have jumped on board with one of those guys actually as well. So that's part one.
Yeah.
Part two that I think is just so brilliant is what we call the marketplace. You look at a Beyond Juice or a She Wolf, and now coming up Adachi, and we will do the same thing. We'll offer you things that we wouldn't have necessarily offered in the carryout model prior, which is some of the sauces and dressings that everybody loves. Our wafu dressing is the salad. The dressing goes on our organic green salad. Spicy mayo. Everybody loves spicy mayo.
Everybody loves spicy mayo.
Yeah, everybody loves spicy mayo. So, I put it on everything. I'm not ashamed to say that, So now we provide an opportunity for you in your carryout. Yeah, you're going to get dinner for you and a friend are going to have dinner tonight. So you get carryout, you get some sushi, but instead of just a side of spicy mayo, maybe today you're gonna order a quart of it because you know that you like it on your BLT or whatever you're making it. We're offering our house-made teriyaki sauces, things like that. Cocktail kits, something as simple as a cocktail kit. We have a drink that has pretty much been our best seller since it was introduced well over a year ago, called the Mademoiselle Rose. And although I can't sell you the vodka that goes with it, I can tell you which vodka it is. You head down to your favorite local store and pick up a bottle of that, and then I'll provide you with the syrups and the sauces so that you can make that drink at home. A little tutorial maybe on Instagram, and that's how we pivot.
I want to talk about that for a second because I was interviewing somebody the other day, Jordan Rubin. She's a family law attorney in Birmingham, and she's a real foodie. And she was telling me that in Detroit, once COVID hit, they started doing boxes where you could pick up boxes and make the food at home. And so it's so brilliant the way that you can not only, like you're talking about, marketplace, but give people the ability to get the same amazing food, but have an experience of making it at home. And then utilizing social media by having a library that lives forever on how to step by step how to do it. It seemed like Blue Apron and those types of companies had the market, and it's amazing within a week of COVID hitting, everyone innovated, pivoted, and figured out how to recreate that locally and globally.
Again, human ingenuity to me is the most is just what kind of tickles my fancy. And you touch on something. The Blue Apron, I think, is a very good point.
Yeah,
they started. What happened to me is about 25 years ago when the cooking channel started taking off and things like that, and people started going, oh, I can watch this great chef make something in his kitchen, in his restaurant, and then I can try to do it at home. That's where I think the beginning of this all came about. Sometimes you don't know where it starts, how we got to where we are now, but then you look at a Blue Apron, and all of a sudden there were people that, by natural inclination probably couldn't scramble 2 eggs, but they had just the right amount of everything put together for them, and they bring it all together. So now this is the next natural progression. People come to Adachi and they love to get our tomahawk steak, for instance, or our prime koji steak, which comes with some really great king trumpet mushrooms, a homemade teriyaki sauce. So now you're going to have the option of, okay, I'll pick up the steak. I'll be at home in 10 minutes. I'll be eating the steak. Or let me get the kit. Let me take it home, invite my neighbors over, because that's what we have the option to do now. And I'll grill because Chef Lloyd's got a video on Instagram of, just how to do this, how to put it all together.
Wow.
One thing that we're going to be offering as well is a wine tasting. So it's a deal where you can get some bottles of wine, you get something out of our collection that's on carry out, which we can do. And then I have 2 sommeliers on staff, 2 level 1 sommeliers. And we're going to put a little video together where you can see them talking about their notes on the wine and, why we like it, why we think it pairs well with them. Again, it's just a matter of kind of trying to look for a way to work with what we have. I'm a big believer that, when I do orientation with new members, I have something I like to say to them. If you're the kind of person, and I have stolen this line from a prominent movie, but if you're the kind of person that wants to curse the darkness when the lights go out instead of looking for a match, we're not going to be too good together going forward. And that's the scenario we are in. The lights went out, but there are matches, and we can find a way to get some light in here and do the things we love to do.
Yeah, I love that. There's you're talking about the food channel earlier in your talk. Did you ever see the show, the movie Supermensch, the life story of Chef Gordon?
No, but I've never even heard of that, but I'm going to.
You got to watch it. So he was Jimi Hendrix manager, Janis Joplin, and he is the one that created the chefs to be on television. There were all these chefs around the world. They weren't making any, enough money. And so he's the first one that took Emerald, and with the whole TV, the BAM, the this and the other, you got to watch it. It's fascinating. Chef Gordon, it's called Supermensch, Chef Gordon. Great documentary.
But Emerald was my first job out of culinary school, and he's the
Oh,
reason that I do what I do in a lot of ways, because I was in college. It was a chance I could have pivoted and gone in another direction, but I just loved what he was doing, and I
yeah.
found it so entertaining and useful entertaining. And the hospitality is through and through with a man like that, and that's what makes it even better. That's when I realized that there was no other industry for me.
Yeah. Well, David, then if that's the case with Emerald, then you'll see the lineage of how Emerald came to be.
Amazing. I'm really excited about that.
Yeah, yeah. I've watched actually the movie a couple times. It's great. So let me ask you a question. So all this innovation, some of it's been kind of sitting here at certain restaurants and there around the country. I think we're going to be seeing this a lot from restaurants now everywhere. So how does a restaurant differentiate themselves today? Because I would have to think that in the past you have a restaurant, like Mario's, for example, right? It's been the same for 100 years. You get the same pasta, same thing. But today it almost seems like restaurants have to be, marketing themselves and coming up with something new-ish on a consistent basis to stay relevant.
In my opinion now, a huge part of what we do, and this is kind of my calling card, is the hospitality angle. At the end of every day, when you have a normal restaurant model, we always say that you're gonna serve a bad plate sometimes.
Yeah.
It's not science. It's not able to plate 100 out of 100 every time.
Right.
It's the hospitality
for every business, no matter how hard you try, for every business, right?
Absolutely. Yeah. And I would assume, and again, I only know my business, but I would assume that everybody comes back to the same thing, which is hospitality, customer service, taking care of your guest is the most important thing. Because your guests, if they know that you're important to them and they're important to you, we can all get past a mistake, an accident, a dish that comes out wrong, oversalted, whatever.
Right.
So within this, we have to somehow translate the hospitality into your carryout now.
Right.
So with it comes the things like the sauces that you're looking for, all the pieces that you're looking for, the video or the card. I saw someone today got some sushi out in LA, a friend of mine, and they showed the card that came with it with the explanation of everything that was there, so that they didn't have that moment where they go, "What is this?" You have to somehow get the hospitality within a box that you're picking up for carryout or a couple of apps. You have to find a way to do that. For us, we're doing it through whether it be the posting of the social media so that you can see chef talking about a dish and remember who's making it for you because he cooks with nothing but love, or it's a card that we've created, so that we can hand sign it and just thank you. I mean, I didn't talk to any guests for 2 months, and then all of a sudden, as I started answering the phone again, every call was 20 minutes long. And you don't really, until it happens, you don't realize how important the human connection is between people coming into your space and getting a chance to enjoy what you provide. And so we have to translate that into a carryout bag.
Yeah.
At least, to an extent. People will come back and eat. I'll tell you one thing that I have to struggle with, but I understand we're in a different time, is I have a term, I like to never outsource hospitality. But right now I'm going to have to outsource some hospitality. What that means is that we're going to provide some means for being able to order at the table when we reopen from your phone.
Yeah.
Being able to pay, touchless paying, things like that. Normally, I would never go for that. I don't outsource hospitality. That's my opportunity to come to you and say thank you personally.
Right.
But now I understand that we're in a different world. So we're going to do that. We're going to find other ways to touch you and let you know thank you. We through the technology again and through some of the great updates people are doing and the pivots, we will find other ways so that I can reach out to you without personally coming and shaking your hand and saying thanks for coming in. Thanks for supporting our business. Thanks for supporting the 40 people that work here, because it means that much to us, especially at a time like this, but it always means that much to us.
Yeah, I love it. I have an idea for you, if you haven't already thought of it, is, video messaging, a thank you from you, from the waiter, from the chef, from, text voice messages where, it's like, hey, this is Chef blah, blah, blah. I know you took home the such and such, blah, blah, blah. Hope you had a great time. Da, da. I think that will enhance the emotional connection if you're not already doing that. It's interesting you talk about merging the hospitality. Simon Thomas, I don't know if you know Simon over at Dobie. I've run into him at your restaurant at Adachi. He's the CEO and founder of Dobie Real Estate, but he grew up in the hospitality business. And so I've had him on the show a couple times. He merged hospitality and residential real estate. And so a lot of his foundation is that hospitality feel. So it just echoes what you're talking about. So here's a question I have for you before we go into a little bit of some speed questions. I've been hearing a lot, people have been nervous to eat out. They've been cautious to eat out. And, it seems like people say, well, when can I eat sushi? Right? Because it seems to be rolled a lot by hand and a lot of pieces. It's raw. It's not heated. It's not cooked. Some of it, not all of it. So how do you respond to that?
So there's a two-part answer to this. The first part is the safety on our end. The truth of the matter is that there is no industry that is more prepared to deal with what we are dealing with right now than food service.
Right.
Because we've always been of the concern that if I can't get you sick when you come to my restaurant. And that was everything that's been existing before COVID-19 came along. So from a health and sanitation perspective, we were already ready for this.
Yeah. That's good. Good reminder.
Washing, we're sticklers on it. I can tell you this. Adachi, will be 2 years old in August. And up until the time this started, that was my meal 6 days a week. Yeah. So I trust it. I believe in it. I believe in the players. The minute I got to taste some again in the last couple of weeks have been some of the most joyous moments
I know.
that I've had. So that is part one, is through
my daughter and my wife have been talking about Adachi every day for the last month.
Thank you.
The spicy edamame,
yeah.
Some of the other dishes that you guys have. Yeah,
I'm a crispy chicken man, and so when I got to get crispy chicken last week, as well as a hand roll with some of our Kimura salmon, I was in heaven.
Yeah.
So part one is safety that we're already prepared to do, and now we just hold a tougher line. We're going through an entire refresh training with our entire staff before they step foot again, just to reiterate all the things that are important from food safety. Number two, I don't want to. I will say this: there are doctors that I personally believe in, that I have watched on television, that I think are very reputable, and there is no transference of this particular disease through food.
Yeah.
So,
to that point, I haven't heard one story on the news, one article of anybody, at least in our house, because we didn't order out for like 2 months and we just started, where my wife and I were talking, we haven't heard of anybody getting sick from a package from a restaurant, the food from a restaurant. And so we were late to the game, but yeah.
Well, I think everybody has to find their comfort zone. When we started this, I didn't order out for a month either. I didn't know what to expect. We were all in brand new territory.
Right.
Again, this goes back to human ingenuity and intelligence. We're going to learn stuff every day. And then are we going to pivot and take the knowledge we have and do better with whatever it is we do? So, where it started was pizza for me. I needed pizza.
Yeah.
I used to be
a pizza lover this quarantine.
Pizza was one of my favorite jobs I've ever done in this career. And in high school, I used to be a pizza delivery guy. I used to make pizzas. So I know from that aspect that you're never going to put your hands on a pizza when it comes out of the oven. So I felt comfortable right away.
Yeah.
So we got into pizza. And then I thought there was a couple salads around town I was really missing. And it took me a while to comfort up to that. But as the science...
We've been ordering from Commonwealth. It's been great.
Yeah.
I
love their salads too.
Yeah.
So yeah, as the knowledge and the science and the medicine started to show us we're okay. And then I saw that other people, when I walked in other people's restaurants, I took a look with my mask on. I saw they were doing all the right things.
Yeah.
And I recognize it after this much. I recognize when someone is obviously doing a good job at being safe.
Yeah.
And so as that happened, that opened it up more for me. sushi. I did not eat sushi until we got back in for Mother's Day. We kind of did a pop-up weekend with curbside just to see what was working and what wasn't. And the minute I saw my sushi chef with his mask on, and I know he's going to wash his hands and he's got his gloves on, and I had no qualms whatsoever about getting back into it. I think that science and medicine are telling us what we need to know. And right now, what we know is that if people are being safe, you are completely safe, and you're not seeing the transference in that way.
Yeah.
And that goes for, this isn't just about the restaurant industry, just in life. We're going to learn more every day about what this is and what it isn't. And we work around it. That's what life is, I suppose.
I love it. I love it. David, so couple last questions. You've been incredibly insightful. I've really enjoyed and learned a lot myself through you talking about innovation and pivoting and just how you're looking at the evolution of your business. Last couple questions. A little off business, but still business. A lot of kids graduating today and not having, not walking into a normal work world right now. What's a piece of advice that you would give all of the graduates out there graduating college today?
So I only know how to do what I do, and that's what I love to do. My job rewards me in so many ways. It's challenging and it's difficult, and there are days I just want to run away. And I would just say, you can only do what you love to do. It's an old, lame cliche, but it is exactly right. Do what you love, and you don't work a day in your life.
Yeah, I agree with that. I agree with that.
Don't worry about what the landscape is. I know that restaurants are going to be underemployed for a long time, but if this is your love, you will find your niche. Maybe you're the new ingenuity with the new idea that's going to change what the industry looks like. I don't know who it is. Could be you. It's probably more likely the kid that's graduating high school today than an old man like me.
Yeah, no question. I interviewed the Bagel Boys Wednesday.
I love those.
Yeah. Randy Denhut and I on Wednesdays. Randy? He's in Birmingham. Anyway, he's an estate attorney. On Wednesdays, we co-host an interview. So these kids, Ethan and Mason, Marcus, you know them, and Jonathan, they were great. They were great, but they're young, hungry entrepreneurs, in the trenches, learning business and building a great business. Building a great business. Yeah.
I am so impressed with those guys. When I read about those guys, literally, I'm just sitting there on my sofa reading it, and I'm like fist pumping in the air. I'm like, that's what I'm talking about,
David, go to the string and comment so they get it, because they could use some wisdom.
I will absolutely reach out to them because I'm blown away by them.
Yeah. Last piece of advice. One thing you've learned about last question. One thing you've learned about yourself during quarantine.
I can't live without my ability to provide hospitality to others. It is the greatest gift in my life. It always has been. And this just kind of shined a light on it. We've opened up as a group 2 restaurants in less than 2 years. It is exhausting. It is difficult. And sometimes you wonder what you're doing and why you're doing it for so long. But the minute you get to spend a situation like this without being able to touch all the people, you just realize how much you miss it. It's very fulfilling. Sometimes we forget how fulfilling our life can be and what we do and how it touches other people. And this has just been a great reminder of, just a call from somebody who shows up once every 3 weeks to the restaurant, but tells you how much they miss that server or this dish. It really touches me, and it provides a lot of value for me in my life, a lot of satisfaction. And I'll tie it into the previous question. I see a lot of people whose kids are graduating right now, and I feel for them because it's different. I think this group of young people are going to be so successful in this world in the coming years. I'm really excited. They've been given a challenge, and I know they're going to rise up to it because they come from a lot of other good people. And be passionate about what you do. Love what you do. If you do that, we're going to find a way through this. This is challenging, but it's not game over. This is just the beginning of the game.
I agree 100%. I agree. tell everybody where they can get a hold of you and eat at your great restaurants.
Yeah, please come to our websites, adachirestaurant.com and Zhaojun New Asian, Zaojun. We are diligent, and we are hyper focused on being safe for our own safety and for your safety. And I think we're making some really great food, and along the way, I hope we're providing hospitality and some love to everybody out there. So, I'm here. We're in Birmingham at Adachi and Bloomfield Hills, Zhaojun, and we love what we do. And I hope it comes through when you get a carry out, or hopefully when you come back and sit with us.
Yeah, well, it definitely comes through in the way that you came through today. So I appreciate your insight, your input, your energy, and I will see you with my family at Adachi, whether it's in the restaurant or at carryout. So thanks for everything you do, man. It was great talking to you. I appreciate it.
Thanks a lot, Jon. I really appreciate you. Thank you.